Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, featuring a 1 vs 1 once more on Angoville, but with the reason I've been sifting through an awful lot of replays looking for something good, something special. We've got the WMD Invitational Tournament going on at the moment. That means a lot of replays from a lot of high quality players, although a lot of them tend to be pretty swift and brutal, but this one ought to be something special, something different, something potentially epic. Who shall be fighting away in the southern half of Angoville? We'll be seeing GPI, DanielID, fighting for the 2nd SS Panzer Division, das Reich. Opposing him shall be Gopepsilive, opponent of the Coca-Cola company. He fights for the glory of Pepsi and apparently Uncle Sam, and in this case the 1st Infantry Division. And let's get right down to it in fact. What shall be going on here? What shall be happening? Pioneers on the way, the usual 2 pioneers start. Wehrmacht quarters going up. And what is this? Nothing unusual here. Looks like the 2 engineer barracks start right there for Go Pepsi as well. So far, so good. And in fact, I'll also be noting this is going to be quite a long game, so no mid-game analysis, and also of course be trying to speed things up as much as possible. And of course also 720-bit resolution right there. Pioneers working hard, and Wehrmacht quarters goes up. Volkswagen is up, 1st unit for Daniel. Engineers heading up there, and we'll be seeing a rather hefty focus on the west or the eastern half. I don't know, doesn't look like it. Running down the central road, and of course note, roads like this do provide negative cover for infantry, but for vehicles they actually provide the fastest path on the map. And of course note, this place for example on Angoville is a pretty nice spot to mine, but of course generally roads are nice to mine because vehicles, tanks and such will be going in for them first, because again they can move the fastest there. Little tip there. And looks like Gopepsilive being vastly aggressive with his engineers, in fact moving in here to sort of wire off this area before trying to cut off the cutoff point. No,
Yes, sir.
a rather avaricious little player. Rifleman heading out here. Munition secure. Rifleman going for the cut-off point right themselves there to connect. Volkswagen is going for the strategic point. Not sure what to expect, obviously. We'll be seeing additional Volkswagens out for Daniel. Yes, indeed, 2 Volksgrenadiers. And a strategic point secured in the name of the fatherland. We're going for the cut-off point. And pioneers rushing in, but of course the engineers will basically rush into the building to hide, and riflemen moving up to support them. Pretty aggressive work here, although at the same time Daniel's Volkswagen is pushed towards the west, opening up on those engineers with a vengeance. Continued skirmishing going on right here in the east, and there we go, point disconnected. A rush for the house. No, it doesn't get disconnected, and the pioneers make it into it, but of course too late. At the same time, fuel has been secured for Go Pepsi, but of course the Volkswagen has managed to push over. Might even get the engineers.
Americans are seizing territory from us.
Well, yes, indeed, the engineer got shot just as he was about to get back home safe. Oh, the inhumanity! But Rifleman quickly pushing in. Go Pepsilive counter-attacking, going up behind some shrubbery, perhaps some cover. No, they retreat fully, or at least pull back fully up to the other position where additional Volkswagens are moved in. MG42 moving in for Go Daniel. Well, GP Daniel, we'll just refer to him of course as Daniel. Strategic point being re-secured. Of course this is also being secured, and interesting enough he's not been making an attempt to connect this fuel point right away. That could have worked, but he's now trying for this point, which is not a bad idea I suppose. Rifleman pushing up, but Volkswagens do persist with a better cover in this place, and of course they could further advance it with some sandbags if they felt like it. A jeep out for Go Pepsilive for a bit of harassment. Cheeky shot. Go Pepsilive being incredibly aggressive, really swinging hard and everywhere, making it a bit harder for Daniel to really form up any defensive lines and really hold a point. Of course also making it a bit harder where to place your forces. But Rifleman trying to push while the Jeep tried to occupy him, but did not go well. 1 man went down in the open fields of Angoville. Jeep pushing in with the Rifleman push in support, and more Riflemen moving in here. However shall this go? Pioneers getting retreated. Volkswagen is running away for the tree right here. Covering the fuel point, MG42 moving up, Schweres MG 42. And the full riflemen do get pushed off, or at least pull back, probably sensing that there's an MG42 on the way, but really not the brightest start for Daniel at the moment. And the 2nd SS Panzer Division das Reich, one of the first divisions, one of the first SS divisions I mean, was not one of the actually first Panzer divisions. They were only later in the war actually upgraded to Panzer divisions. I believe it was about 1943. Until then they'd first basically been infantry divisions, then they've been upgraded to Panzer Grenadier divisions, and then finally they were turned into Panzer divisions. Fun little fact there. Additional MG42 on the way for Daniel. He's also gotten further Volkswagen, so 3 Volkswagen, 2 MG start. That's going to be quite a vicious thing to crack. And he's also gone defensive pretty early on. That could limit him a bit, but at the same time it could also provide him with some additional protection against allied assaults from Gopepsilive in particular, since he's rather fond of making those huge flanks. For the Fallonet, for example, could be quite useful there. But cut off right there, and thus also cut off from the fuel point because he didn't connect the strategic point right there. Daniel pushing forwards, urging his Volksguards to greater glories. Barbed wire going down there, that's good. A bit of firing going on here, but nothing really decisive. And we are seeing the skirmish phase being researched right here, but Daniel so far nothing else really from Gopepsi. No upgrades, no further structures, just some infantrymen and a jeep. A victory jeep, and further barbed wire going on here, and also wiring off this area, really preparing himself for the grand assault. Oh dear, there's actually a mine there to protect any against flanks there. That's a good move. No mines there though, that could have been nice. Pushing on right here, riflemen running into a rather severe deluge of firepower, jeep flanking in. But perhaps deciding it's got better places to be. Drives away. Oh dear, it's taking a shortcut, and mine set off. Pioneer does get killed as well. That was a bit unfortunate, and plus it'll also leave munitions behind for the Germans to salvage and probably replace that mine using the munitions scouted by the jeep. Riflemen pushing on. And others waiting here. What could Gopepsi be up to? He's actually gotten BARs, thus further increasing the firepower, and of course certainly making for the Fatherland more useful, inspiring them to greater defensive ideologies, something. Anyways, they'll be much harder to hit and actually harder to damage while in own territory, and there's only some players really like to use that, even try it aggressively, which can work. Riflemen moving in towards the eastern halves. All well so far, and fresh mine there, just as I said, probably salvage that jeep pretty quickly. Lots of barbed wire. Bunker going up for Daniel. Riflemen taking up positions there. And we are seeing a supply yard going up for Gopepsi as well. That's a good thing, going to help with the infantry, going to help with the manpower upkeep. Although I'm not entirely sure why he's keeping 2 rifleman teams in each of these 2 buildings. I mean, it's going to protect against something, but I don't think Daniel's rather keen on actually making a move at the moment. And we've certainly now seen that there are BAR, so he's obviously not in a rush to get a Pack 38 or something like that. More barbed wire, leaving in fact only a small gap, and then obviously mining that. Good move there by Daniel. He's really preparing himself for the storm of the Amerikaner. Riflemen sneaking in there. What could they be up to? Have to be careful, and even then, we are seeing Daniel preparing himself for the counter-attack. Fresh mine right there, but the American might be aware of it. At least imagine there might have been placed one again. Oh, no! He's going straight for the German base. He's going in for that huge gap, which has not been defended as of yet. Kriegberg's going up, and of course, Daniel rather realizes he needs to get his troop out there unless he fancies his pioneers getting shot up. And made an example of by the Americans, thus delaying the Kriegbags as well. Oh, the unfortunate right there. At the same time waiting here, but there's not much you can do, sadly. We are seeing weapon supports and they're going right at the farthest corner of his base. Quite interesting that. Rather than going down there, but he's certainly just hoping to delay the construction of the Kriegbags as long as possible, which is not a bad idea, but it's certainly interesting. It's not usually what we see here. But there we go, full retreat, rather realizing now the game is up. Need to get out of there with as many men as possible. He's done his job, and now he's pushing in here. Of course, he's also drawn away troops from the front line, which would certainly been an idea, but of course there's still the other MG42, there's still the Volksgrenadiers, and now the riflemen moving in from here, but of course they might run into some issues of their own. Motorpool at the same time going up for Gopepsilive, and it looks like the first sniper has arrived. Die erste Scharfschützen aus die Amerikaner. Sneaking up, MG42 taking up, preparing for shots at the American Devils. In fact, let's go have a look at this Teufel. Gopepsilive. Volksgrenadiers moving up there. They could be catching the sniper, although the sniper is quick to move back within the aegis of the machine gun emplacement. The Volksgrenadiers, in fact, run straight into it. Getting raked with 30 caliber fire. MG getting sniped again. This is not looking good. MG gunner getting the devil out of there. And so far we are seeing a rather static position, but a pretty strong one right here for Daniel, although he might want to consider actually making some pushes. He's now getting a Kampfkraft center up to deliver the Kampfkraft to his Panzertruppen. Minesweepers up again, probably expecting mines, not a bad idea, and of course that's going to be useful when he actually makes his move, his attack. And we are seeing an armored car as well on the way. Half-track out for Daniel. Mittlere Schützenpanzerwagen. Assault moving in, engineers. Oh, getting gunned down. He did manage to spot one mine. In fact, several. One gets set off. So it wasn't all bad, but obviously he's got some problems. Armored car ready, getting upgraded. He could even get some artillery in if he wanted to. He's certainly got the munitions for it. He really doesn't have the command points for it. A bit quiet there.
No recruits in. We're back to full strength.
Armored car breaking the bar. While half-track running into it. And getting hit by the 37mm gun right there. And thus our gap in Daniel's defenses have been opened, although with the further layers of barbed wire, the damage will be sort of minimal, although it could mean that Gopepsilive will be able to reconnect here, but certainly we're seeing a much more careful strokes from either player. We're not really seeing any sort of hugely rushed things half the time. There's certainly things, but those are certainly meant to mostly disrupt Daniel's plans. Sniper gets suppressed by the MG42, but so far no one's aware that he's actually there. We'll be seeing an attempt by Gopepsilive to actually get a counter sniper. So far, no. Rather than getting pushed off a bit too much. Actually, never mind. There we see a German sniper. And Panzerfaust on the armored car. Jolly good job there. Panzerfaust, essentially the first type of weapon that is a disposable anti-tank weapon. Earliest variants were not as strong as the later ones, which could actually pretty much knock out a King Tiger, if I'm not mistaken. Although in Company of Heroes they have been considerably nerfed and considered in part to their sort of real-life counterparts. Probably otherwise there'd just be waves of Volksgrenadiers knocking out everything, which there were actually in earlier versions of Company of Heroes, which was quite sad to look at.
I have everything but a target.
Sniper moving up. Small engagement right here. Volksgrenadiers get pushed off. Pack moving up. Panzerabwehrkanone. Basically meaning tank defense cannon. Gun. Pack 38 wasn't really the major anti-tank gun of this stage of the war. It had been rather taken over by the Pack 40. Which was also one of this larger anti-tank guns, which was still sort of maneuverable by infantry. Volkswagen's right here taking losses. Engineers getting ready for something here. Rifle moving in, but again more barbed wire and MG. Really good job there with the obstacles by DanielID, really making it hard for Gopepsilive to really make any moves. Sticky bombs on the way, anti-tank on the way, probably expecting something armoured soon, or perhaps just hoping to get that half-track push up right here on the eastern flank. Rifleman not there to assist. And we are seeing a reconnaissance run. What could he be hoping to do? He catches the German sniper. Oh dear, I'm not sure if he was actually expecting that. Oh, half-track down. That was a bit unfortunate. He's certainly got the munitions for a strafing run. And a mortar up for Daniel, knocking out some riflemen right there in the middle of the road. Not usually where you want to be caught by a mortar. Now Flaps, of course, decides to be a bit silly. My apologies for all of this. No idea why Flaps all of a sudden decided to act up. Been so nice the last few days. But a nice little maneuver going on here, far away from any anti-tank defenses, only mostly Panzerfaust to really worry about for that armoured car, rather than pushing on as well. Holding most of the victory points as well, right here Gopepsilive holding on quite nicely, rather slowly pushing back Daniel and his second SS. Volkswagen's getting run off right there as well. Veterans, you want for this sniper, that's a jolly good job right there, that's going to make him slightly harder to kill. Further fighting continues. And looks like things are going to be rushed off right there. Mortar in a slightly more advanced position, although able to cover much of the map. And Pack setting up to... Oh dear, the armoured car's going to be running straight into it. But of course it will be able to make it to safety due to the boucage. But Daniel's not giving up, urging his Volkswagens to keep pushing the assault. No grenadiers, that could work for him, I suppose. How many Volkswagens does he have? Oh, never mind, I thought he was beginning to get more. Mortar in a bit of trouble. Will it make it out of there? And Rifleman trying to push on, but running into a nasty killing zone of MG fire. Sniper, though, does his best. Actually, Daniel's gotten 3 MG42s. That's quite excessive. For the fatherland goes up. 1 MG, though, goes down at the same time. And the German sniper gets the American one strafing run, killing 2 MG gunners, but nothing more. The assault by Gopepsilive did not quite succeed. Grenades up, but he just can't get close enough. And note, while your troops are pinned, they can't do anything. They can't use abilities or anything. They can't lob a grenade and knock out that MG. At the same time, the Volkswagens of Daniel are pushing through in the east, although Rifleman right here proving to be quite a nuisance. No veterancy up for his infantry. Interesting enough, he does have the Kampfkraft sensor, but he doesn't really seem to be getting any veterancy. That's a bit of an odd mistake. Usually, I mean, if you go for the Kampfkraft Center, you get veterancy. I mean, it's a pretty huge waste not to. I mean, imagine if he'd gotten some veterancy one for those MG42s, the assault here might have been a lot more bloody for Gopepsilive, but sadly, no.
The Huns are taking our territory.
Volkswagens continue on, though unstopped, unflapped. Volkswagens reinforcing as well. Nothing for... Oh, come on. And once more, I'd like to apologize for this. And please don't tell me I need to do this or that. It's just Fraps doing that from time to time. There's nothing I can do about it. Another sniper out though for Gopepsilive to replace the one lost, to hunt down his comrade's killer. They were best of friends, but then crap killed him. Armored car pushing in, Volkswagen's getting pushed off. Pretty extensive assault right here by Gopepsilive, and veterans you want for the armored car, which is certainly going to make it faster. Volkswagen's getting gunned down on the retreat. More pioneers. DanielID might have been served quite nicely if it actually pushed off, or pushed up with an MG at least to support the eastern assault, or perhaps some anti-tank assets, but he does have the Panzer Command app The 2nd SS now relying on its panzer arm to really do the tough work. And that could actually sufficiently punish Gopepsilive, as he's only got about 1 anti-tank gun and some sticky bombs. That's not necessarily going to prove to be the greatest deterrent, in particular since the anti-tank gun is still in his base. But still holding most of the victory points, straining down things for DanielID. Although he's probably wants to sort of knock out this last ensconcement, but he's going to have a bit more trouble with that again. These sort of extensive defenses, mines, MGs, mortar strafing run. Oh goodness, knocks out the mortar team. Damages, oh well, wrecks the pickup truck the MG gunner was hiding behind as well. Quite excessive. Now rushing in. Armored car though getting hit by the Pack 38. Its only chance is actually to try and drive past the Pack. And it succeeds due to Veterans in 1. Opening up with 50 caliber. Volkswagen is rushing in for the fatherland. Goes up, extolling the virtues of not getting killed. Or at least telling them to have solved those wounds a bit better. Panzer IV arrives though to the scene. Armored car could get knocked out by 1 Panzerfaust. No, a Pack gets it. The armored car goes down, but certainly the losses have been heavy as well. Mortar down, MG down. 2 MGs down, in fact. Let us go have a look at Daniel again. Will he finally be getting some veterancy? Bloody hell yes. Finally. After 20 minutes, a long part of those actually having a Kampfkraft center, he actually uses it. A miracle. And starts out with Veterans 1 for his Panzers, giving it a 15% damage decrease. That's good. That's only going to help his Panzer force, and it's only going to make those anti-tank and sticky bombs a little less effective. Tank depot going out for Gopepsilive. I was just about to say Panzer Command. Brilliant. But infantry veterans are on the way as well. That's also going to mean his infantry is going to last a little longer. Of course, first veterans is basically healing, but even that, of course, means the troops will be a bit harder to kill since their wounds will be taken care of. Of course, using the bunker here for reinforcement. He might soon be getting some grenadiers. Panzer IV moving up. Volkswagen getting pushed away. Right inside the building. Getting blasted by the high explosive shells launched by the Panzer IV. The workhorse of the Panzer divisions, although the Sturmgeschütz 3G was certainly also quite effective, although that was just as much the infantry and everything else. But certainly the Panzer IV was just as much as numerous. Again, just a margin of a few hundred tanks, otherwise just as numerous as the Stug. Was many produced. Rifleman pushing up here, although negative cover MG and a sniper. I know you're a bit preoccupied. Oh dear, Pioneers got sniped by the 2 snipers. And the riflemen are caught out in the middle there, getting out of there. No idea what's going on with flaps today though. Volkswagen is moving up. No upgrades for them as of yet. Osten Flak Panzer. I mean, he might want to consider actually getting an MP40 or 2 for his Volkswagen. Could rather increase the firepower.
Losing territory.
Small engagement here. Panzer IV moving up. We'll be seeing more veterancy. No, just that Ostwind. And the Panzer IV moves straight at the rifleman. Has to be careful though. 2 men down. Rifleman moving up here could be catching someone. And these riflemen actually need to get out of there. Sniper gets revealed, but he gets out of there. Oh dear, I do believe Gopepsilive should have retreated up much earlier there, but no, he actually makes it out of there. Interestingly enough, there's been no choice of a medic station by Gopepsilive. Bit unfortunate there. Panzer IV moves in once more into the breach. Actually, it makes a breach. And then goes straight for the riflemen. Opening out on them with a vengeance. Oh my goodness, actually getting almost an entire rifle team. Again, note the Panzer IV is actually quite a decent tank. Can do quite well against infantry, although, interestingly enough, even the veterans won a tank destroyer under the right circumstances can win a 1 versus 1 against a Panzer IV. Volkswagen though going down. One has actually managed to secure a BAR counterattack going on here. Ost and Flak Panzer moving forwards. snipers, engineers getting pushed back, and we're seeing a registered artillery barrage. Oh dear, a reversal against Pepsi. He's losing territory. He's losing men. What else might he be losing if he's not careful? And his anti-tank gun is no longer in the base. But his Ostwind has moved a bit too far, and the tank destroyer, the M10, spots it. And gets off a nice good hit to the rear. Oh dear. This could be the end of the Ostwind Flak Panzer. Panzer IV moves up as well. Though to save the day, dual Panzerfaust against the tank destroyer. And almost the end of the M10 as the Panzer IV rushes forward, but without support. Oh, Daniel, be careful. Sticky bomb. Barely any engineers, if any, to actually repair that tank destroyer, but Panzer IV got a damaged engine, a bloodied nose, and a lesson in not to move too far ahead without support. And most of its support so far consists of Volksgrenadiers, which I suppose might in this case basically be Ersatz SS Panzer Grenadiers from the replacement battalion, which was a rather unique concept to the German army. Rather than just sending the recruits directly forward to the companies, they were actually sort of usually sent to a replacement unit to sort of get them some additional training from the division's veterans to sort of get them a bit more up to speed and help. Fun little fact there. But a half-track on the way from DanielID. I don't think he's going to be using it for infantry rushes. He might actually be getting the Stuka's Fuss. And the Volksgrenadiers once more get pushed off. Half-track ready there. We'll be seeing further veterancy. That could help a bit. And whatever shall Gopepsilive do, he's in a bit of a trouble there. He's a bit hit on all sides, and let's just speed this up a bit. Reconnaissance run, and sniper sets up. Of course, having in short there and no counter snipers. Volksgrenadiers there taking a bit of a loss, but they do manage to get out of there with that BAR they stole from the Yanks. Half track probably waiting for that Stuka's Fuss. That's going to be a bit costly in munitions. A bit quiet. A bit quiet. Looks like these riflemen could be running into a problem. And some grenadiers actually get reformed for Daniel. His first grenadiers, and he immediately gets a Panzerschreck. That could certainly be good. And another reconnaissance run. And he's getting a bombing run right on the Ostwind, and Panzer IV take heavy damage from the bombing run. The Ostwind was unable to knock it out. And Gopepsilive, having spotted his chance, rushes in the M10. I actually missed that bombing run during the replay. My attention was elsewhere. And there we go. Panzer IV's down. But the Panzer IV down. Panzerfaust. Oh dear. It's a bit late here. My apologies. And again, these sort of problems with flaps is not helping. But nonetheless, Panzer IV down. Another M10 moves in. Could be getting that Ostwind, and looks like a Panther is on the way for Daniel. The second air is now really going for the big armor. Main gun destroyed on the Ostwind Flak Panzer. And Panzer V ready. Volksgrenadiers fighting in the distance, getting suppressed. Too much fire being arrayed against them. And with the Ostwind down, the M10 is now left to get out of there. And the Panther moves up and spots the Panther, which could ruin spot could otherwise been a nice surprise for Daniel. If you could sort of, surprise Panther. Now sort of, oh right, I do have a Panther. I don't suppose you'd mind. Well, lots of munitions to salvage are supposed to make up for it. Sniper's doing quite a bit of damage right there at the front. MG team almost down. And he's lost one. It would even be that Pepsi is still... Oh my goodness, Pepsi's not really looking good either. He's also suffered quite some losses. And again, a medic station probably would have helped, but no such luck for him. Panzer V marching up. About, I believe, 6,000 about those were made. Close to 7,000 panzers all in all throughout the war. Different variants, of course, from D to A to G. There was something odd about these sort of nomenclature of the sort of different models, but the G was the latest variant, which actually had the most armor, I believe. and some other advantages. Though they were still all high in maintenance, and they were all actually unreliable. Less reliable actually than the Tiger tank, which sort of has got the rumor of being the sort of one of the least reliable tanks, but it's actually quite reliable. Anyways, Panther moves up. Riflemen getting pushed off. Too much firepower to be right there. Still no sort of heavier firepower as Volksgrenadiers. And a bit of nasty damage here. Munitions getting salvaged. You could soon be getting that Stuka zu Fuss. No further armor veterancy either. Panther dodges off a shot right there. Or bounces off a shot from the anti-tank gun. Whatever shall happen. Except me switching over to Gopepsilive again. No supplier upgrades. Oh, Pepsi. No supplier upgrades. Tisk tisk. And no medic stations either. Let's speed this up a bit. I think this is a bit of one of those lull situations where both sides are sort of preparing for the assault. The Angriff. Der Sturm. Riflemen get pushed off by a registered artillery barrage. Basically just mortar rounds. But a reconnaissance run moves in well. No, nothing virtually damaging. The mortar has not been recruited by Daniel. Not sure why that could have been helpful. Engineers getting pummeled by the Panther. Riflemen getting well hit by still all those MG-42s basically holding the front here. Pioneers salvaging. Still not great for this one. No love for the half track. All a bit quiet. Slow advance here. Volksgrenadiers moving up on the flank with some grenadiers with a Panzer Schreck. They're running into dual snipers, which could be lethal. Oh, a strafing run to cover right there. Although most have been killed, doing less damage, but still forcing the German infantry away. Pioneers rushing about, and there we go, the Stuka zu Fuss. Also, fun fact, the sort of way the Stuka zu Fuss was actually organized meant they were actually part of pioneer units. Yes, I know, pioneers. Not the sort of thing you usually think of these. I mean, as the pioneers you sort of know, it's the building units, but they were assault troops, and the Panzer Pioneers were sort of the cream of that, basically what Panzer Grenadiers were to Grenadiers. And the Panzer Pioneers in their sort of half-track company, and they had their own sort of one company of that, would have a platoon of those Stuka zu Fuss as their heavy weapons, basically. That's sort of as far as I can read it. I mean, there's not a lot of details on it, quite interestingly enough. Oh, snipers are in a bit of trouble. They could get hunted down by the Volksgrenadiers. Rifle moving in, Panther getting hammered, could get sticky bombed. MG though there to save the day. And snipers gets pushed off. That's unfortunate. And running straight at the MG-42. Oh dear, the MG-42. Still no veterancy for the support units. I do think that's a bit of a mistake right there by Daniel. No veterancy for the MGs. Grenade going off, and the MG gets cleared out. Second Panther arrives. Still no further veterancy though. Come on, Daniel. I know you can do it.
Supply lines are broken. We have territory cut off from supply.
But Gopepsilive still in the slightly worse off end, in particular now that he's facing two Panthers, but I'm not entirely sure. Of course, he's currently aware that they are two Panthers, and they're not here to wish him hello and bring him cake. And of course, the Stuka zu Fuss is going to make it a bit harder for Daniel to sort of present himself for the sort of defensive position, because he's going to get hammered by rockets. So of course, that does mean that Gopepsilive will be forced more into more half-armored tank destroyers, less anti-tank guns, which of course can be a bit of a problem, particularly facing off against Panthers, which of course means he needs to get a lot of tank destroyers, a lot. Which can also be a problem due to the presence of Panzerfaust, Panzer Schrecks, and the Pack. Things are certainly not easy, and looks like he's actually now gotten veterancy 2.
Losing a victory point. We are losing.
Getting rid of machine gun fire. Attempted here at the victory point. ends badly for the Volksgrenadiers, getting them run off. And the Riflemen running into trouble here on the western flank as well, getting pushed off here. Gopepsilive, though, fearlessly pushing on. The Volksgrenadiers less fearlessly trying to get out of there and getting suppressed, in fact. But Panther there to save the day. And there we go. Stukas of Fuss firing away heroically, lighting up the sky with rockets and death. Compelling a full retreat.
Resource drop is now available.
And now getting supply drops called into his base, probably to give him more munitions, to call in more strafing runs and possibly even some bombing runs.
Objective secured. Rifle squad defending.
They're advancing further once more. And Riflemen getting shot off a bit. A nice position there, I suppose. If anyone wants to move in, they won't have to get close. That means BRs, that means grenades. And of course, they can just then run into the building, or that would also expose them to a lot more fire. But large force moving in. And of course, I suppose there's still the half-track, the Stukas of Fuss. Or the Wurfrahmen 40. And there we go, getting into the building. Volksgrenadiers caught right out in the open. And a bombing run. Oh dear, this could be going right on the Panther. Volksgrenadiers also... Oh dear, the Volksgrenadiers took heavy losses and the MG got absolutely knocked out. It's carnage. So many German soldiers have died. And the field is littered with creatures and debris. But of course, the rocket artillery is there to save the day. Rather than getting hammered, burned and other horrific things. But snipers are pushing on now, although have to be careful. There's the German sniper. Oh, he misses. And both American snipers actually veterans hit too. Let's just beat this up a bit. Just a wee bit. Oh, the snipers can't seem to get each other. Panther arrives there, though. Also, one anti-tank gun. Need to be slightly careful. And a nice push here. Riflemen again, they're trying to get their fuel, but they're getting absolutely slaughtered. Panther exposes his own rear to anti-tank and fire. That's less good. And we're seeing a push right up here by some grenadiers as well. And I think the Riflemen did not make it out there alive. We're secure, and so far Daniel is holding most of the victory points. I do believe we're seeing 3 tank destroyers up for Gopepsilive. That's probably not going to be enough for those Panthers, and of course you can catch each of them on their own. Another half-track though joins the battery. No further veterancy, not even vehicle veterancy, of course, as that would actually decrease the rate of sort of cooldown on the half-tracks, and of course also increase the damage. I mean, that even only requires veterancy too. So I do think that Daniel could probably work on improving his sort of usage of veterancy. Volksgrenadiers out in the open versus the mighty Wolverine. One of the sort of major tank destroyers throughout the war, at least from the Allied side. They were used by the Americans. The British had an upgun version with the 17-pounder called the Achilles, and even the Soviets actually used it in a least Lend variant. Fun little fact there. Well, Lend... not least Lend... Oh, never mind. No further veterancy, no further things out of that Panzer Command, but another bunker going up, probably a repair bunker in this case. Recon run. Chaps getting sniped. And a heroic push by some Grenadiers, although they are quickly finding themselves behind enemy lines and outgunned, and thus quickly run off. Salvaging a tank destroyer. The others are still waiting. Anti-tank guns are moving up, but they're also being a bit cautious, not quite fancying all that shooting at. Veterancy finally coming for the vehicles. Rifle moving in, hoping to flank, but they are running into the Panther. fact, they're running into several Panthers. And the MG actually gets cleared out. Medics are quick on the spot, but they are getting shot themselves. Heavy rockets getting leveled against the anti-tank guns, but that's not quite working. And more artillery going on here as a registered artillery barrage pushes off those damn Yanks. Let us return to Daniel. That's the second SS as he fights the 1st Infantry Division. Solid push here, although still no MP40s. I really think we could sort of benefit from that. He's actually gotten out enough population to get more units, but of course he could still use it. It's for veterancy purposes. Get some further veterancy for the infantry. Get some veterancy for the half-tracks. Get some veterancy for the panzers. Or the support units. There we go, getting at least for the half-tracks. And a bit of a lull again. Gopepsilive getting ready for another push. More reconnaissance run, constantly keeping an eye on his opponent's movements. Not entirely sure why he's just firing into the darkness of things. Perhaps hoping to catch those snipers, but they are far, far away over the hills and not in the range of those half-tracks. Achtung, Achtung. Yes, indeed. But you're not quite having any sort of major impact at the moment. Both sides sort of trying to find the weak spot. The spot to leverage all their firepower, and both sides are essentially a bit worried. Registered artillery once more going in against... Oh dear, riflemen are caught right in it. They need to get out of there. Half tank destroyers are rushing in though. Right into the Panzer Schreck. Oh dear, one down already. Panther secured a kill. And the other two are desperately trying to get out of there, trying to avoid the Panthers. And the Panthers actually continue. There's no anti-tank, of course, so they can do that if they so desire. Riflemen getting shot down. The march of the Panthers continue, but at the same time, Gopepsilive has actually managed a breakthrough in the east, and he's even securing an MG42 from Daniel's stocks. Half-track trying to deliver blocking fire rockets. Sperrfeuer, if you will. Stopping some of the riflemen. Oh my goodness, they're shredding the riflemen. And of course, note with veterancy, 2 half-tracks do more damage. That also includes the rocket artillery. So in this case, these riflemen have been left cinders, leaving behind only a BAR for anyone that cares, which is probably going to be the full scale, so that actually is going to increase their firepower. MG, though, getting hammered, needs to get out of there. But those were some slightly nasty blows there. At the same time, though, East is being taken away from Gopepsilive. And the manpower drain continues, and more veterans is on the way, this time for the Panthers, the Panzers. Oh dear, this could be another rifleman team down for Gopepsilive. That would be pretty nasty, but no, they make it out of there. Barely, though, and he's probably going to need to make a move right here in the east. Daniel could soon be holding all 3 victory points. That would be a problem for Gopepsi. And Grenadiers actually get pushed off.
We are losing territory.
But there we go, veterans, the 3 Panthers. Armored skirts, certainly going to make them tougher against sticky bombs and such.
We are losing ground.
Objective captured.
Riflemen advancing, full scale doing what they can to secure territory in response. Still really lacking the population to get more units, although again, he'd probably benefit if he got some veterans force infantry, or support units even. Although now he's actually got no MG42s, they're all gone. Either completely wrecked by bombing runs, stolen by the Americans, or left to corrode in the middle of the battlefield. Not really good there.
The enemy is seizing our territory.
Pioneers have captured munitions.
But looks, this is pretty much the sort of punch he has left. 2 Panthers and 2 half-tracks. Ready to say, oh dear, these rifles are going to need to get out of there quickly. And barely making out of there. That was bloody close. I imagine they'll be making jokes about that if they survive the war. That funny story about everyone in the squad team getting knocked out by mortar rain.
Losing a sector.
Entering off. Daniel has not lost 1 Volksgrenadier team as of yet. Though he's also not upgraded 1 Volksgrenadier as of yet. Riflemen getting hammered. The Panthers arrive. And oh, they are bombing run right on the Panthers. Almost knocking them out. Almost. If there were some tank destroyers. Yes, there are tank destroyers arriving. At the same time making a push in the west as well. Pack quickly moving in. Also note that's actually also Veterancy 3. Fun fact about packs at Veterancy 3. They do more damage. And a tank destroyer goes down to combined pack and AT fire. The other 2 tank destroyers continue. Another goes down. Oh dear, a valiant attempt, but just not enough.
The enemy advances.
Instead, he ends up with 3 wrecked tank destroyers and not a single kill to show for it. Although he might get those false guns as they're trying to retreat. Will this be the yes, indeed, the first loss of a Volksgrenadier team for Daniel. He'll probably be weeping for weeks over that. Repair bunker positions. All the mechanics are over here, I imagine.
Grenadiers, hold steady.
The Yankees are attacking one of our OPs.
But Gopepsilive going for all sides. Vegas artillery once more with the rifle. This time get out of there. Gopepsilive has actually managed to strike back quite soundly, despite the fact that his opponent has been having lots of rocket artillery and 2 Panthers.
The enemy advances.
Veterancy 3 Panthers, even of course note, while Panthers are alright against infantry, they're no Panzer IVs. Of course, currently he can't build anything because he's got Panthers.
We are losing territory. Forward supply lines are broken. They are attacking secure territory of the fatherland.
Oh, I didn't notice that observation post right there.
200 points.
Down to less than 200 points for Daniel. He's going to need to move quickly. He can't reinforce because he doesn't have the population for it. And he's still not getting any further Veterancy Force infantry. One Panther holding the line. Although it might want to consider sort of pointing its frontal armor towards the enemy, less not the rear armor, which was much thinner.
We are losing ground.
Volksgrenadiers running into a bit of trouble. Snipers and MG42. The problems for Daniel seems to be cropping up now. And he's still not getting any further veterancy upgrades, even for the infantry, which could be helped by that quite nicely.
Field repairs complete.
And the anti-tank guns moving forward in a pretty clustered up trio. That's not good when you know your opponent has rocket artillery. What are you doing, Pepsi? Are you actually wishing for them to get knocked out? In this case, it seems to be quite fortunate nothing really bad happens. Rather than they're pushing up, half-tracks pulling out. Other Panther moves in. Daniel could be useful with either some MP4s, possibly even trying the LMG-42, but still something to soundly kill that infantry. Pioneers getting slaughtered. Repair bunker's getting hammered, and let's return to Gopepsilive. And the anti-tank guns are raking that repair bunker with anti-tank gunfire. There we go. One bunker down, one to go. Medic bunker long gone.
Sniper's got it zeroed in.
I've been getting sniped. Volkswagen's not pushing in.
Point is ours.
Finally getting some further veterans, although for what I'm not entirely sure. That's pretty bold though by Daniel. He knows there's sticky bombs, so he keeps the Panther right there.
They're on to me. Sniper taking fire.
Snipers get pushed off. Will the Panther be able to get a kill? Will he? No, he can't seem to get the snipers. Quickly moving in, secures many victory points as possible to stop the victory point drain. Again, very good aggression right there by Pepsi throughout the game. Although despite taking some heavy losses, he's really been able to sort of keep his opponent penned up in the base, which is probably also due to those Panthers being rather high on repair once they're damaged. I also think a lack of veterancy further for the infantry. Still don't think he's actually getting any.
Our fuel point is being taken by the enemy. Hostiles incoming. Base is under attack.
He did indeed go for veterans for support units. And a push in the west. Victory point once more left abandoned. And a bombing run moving in again. I imagine towards it. Oh, the sniper could be caught. No, in this case it only ends up with one Panther damage. In fact, its engine is damaged. But it survives this rather severe bombing run. Second one moves in. Bit too closely. Could get sticky bombed. Although it could be that Gopepsilive hoping to sort of save them for that other one. But they might get gunned down by the Panthers while this is happening. Excessive fire. There we go. Rifle team pushed away.
Who do you want dead?
3 snipers. He's really just hoping I'm draining Daniel or what's left of him. Which I suppose is not a bad idea. Just keep up the attrition and keep up the pressure and hope you can make it through. And there we go, the barrage not really hitting anything at all. Oh dear, and these troops are not fully reinforced. Each, either of them, could be knocked out by the 3 snipers in quick succession.
Front shifted. Crowds are grabbing territory from us.
Pushing up on the east.
100 points and counting down.
And let's just speed up this last bit. This is not going to end well, and otherwise this game is actually going to be pretty long. Probably longer than the movie maker can actually handle. Panthers moving up there.
Enemy unit down. Losing ground out there.
Pioneers going down. Utter carnage. DanielID's forces are getting slaughtered. Panther actually goes down to the anti-tank guns. But this is pretty much it. And another bombing run. And a Panther just about to go out. And of course, what can we learn from this? I mean, this game rather came down to a few things. Like, for example, Gopepsi's rather severe aggression. The good use of bombing runs. Really timing them so they didn't miss. And doing a lot of damage, which in either case in the end knocked out the Panthers, but otherwise kept them out of the game for some time. Or in another case, left the Panzer IV and the Ostwind open for being pretty easy targets. So that was definitely not a bad move either. But really, you know, aggression sort of trying to keep hitting his opponent from different sides, forcing him to shift from left to right, to then his space, or then to left again. Again, that sort of makes it harder for his opponent to sort of really localize all of his forces in one spot, which also makes it easier for him to defend. And of course, he can't do that. So great sense in that way, although the Panthers and such did cause a bit of problem, but he rallied. And of course, he sort of went for the way the Panthers couldn't do, which was take points. So he basically just kept draining the infantry and sort of doing nasty things to them. So when the Panthers arrived, they'd find themselves with less support and they'd find themselves with difficulty in taking the victory point. I mean, rather think, though, in this case, that if Mr. Daniel had perhaps gotten some further infantry veterancy, he might actually made it through. And if he'd actually gotten the veterancy a lot earlier, he was much too late in actually getting any, I think. And and definitely would have had much better use of it if he's actually gotten some for his MGs when they were still there. Otherwise, there you go. Do hope you enjoyed this game. If you did, why not subscribe and tell your friends, and if you didn't, well, why not send in a replay of your own. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.